Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 72 of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Spears, coming at you live from Perth. I have 6 more shows in this beautiful city. Get your tickets at louspears.com. The next one is on Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, maybe a Sunday. I don't know. I've got 6 more. louspears.com. Get your tickets. I'm here until February 1st, but it's a small room, so don't wait. Right. So TikTok's been banned. Oh no, TikTok's been banned in America. All these Americans are losing their minds about it. It's only been a couple of hours since the Americans have been booted off the app, and I must say, it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten funnier. It's gotten a lot less serious. No one's yelling about racial politics or I'm not seeing any Republicans or Democrats on my feed. I'm not seeing anywhere near the amount of divisive hatred and rants that I usually see on TikTok. It's just like Australians and Europeans having a nice time. It's great. I think that what this has really made me understand is that not only is TikTok better off without Americans, but perhaps so would the world be. Do you think that maybe that's the lesson that we could learn from getting Americans off TikTok, is that maybe we should just get rid of them in general? No, it's not that type of podcast, all right? I do know that I have become recently very famous in China, but I don't want to jump straight towards advocating for the genocide of Americans just yet. I'm hoping for like a bit of a slow burn. I want to at least learn Mandarin first. No, but here's the thing, all right? And this goes with, I made this prediction at the start of the year. I think TikTok gets banned, obviously. Check, that's part 1, all right? That's what I said would happen. TikTok would get banned. Part 2 of my prediction is that Trump's going to bring it back. I think this is a really transparent delaying of the ban, so that when Trump comes in, he can give the whole country something that they really want, which is their brain rot app back. He can go, as you know, as my first executive order, as your president, I'm going to reinstate the app that makes you fucking stupid. Which is so funny because I feel like, am I the only person who remembers this? I haven't seen this anywhere else. But Trump is the guy that started this whole conversation around banning the app, didn't he? If I remember correctly, wasn't the only reason the whole ban conversation got started was because, remember when Trump was doing rallies and then people on TikTok figured out a way to like book free tickets to the rallies so that they looked full, but then no one showed up to them? Like that started happening to a bunch of Donald Trump's rallies, and then within 2 weeks of TikTok users embarrassing Donald Trump, he was like, I reckon we should ban this app. And now, right, since that happened and since those conversations started to get really serious, and now obviously TikTok has been banned and the ban process began, I don't think I've ever seen an app become more like pro-Trump ever. Because I don't even think it was like the algorithm changing. I think even the users of TikTok understood that if they want their app, like if it's your main source of income, right? If I'm an American and I had a big following on TikTok, I would be posting pro-Trump stuff every single day because I understand that the only way to get that man to change his mind is with flattery. And it worked, all right? The app has been pro-Trump for like months and months and months now, and Trump's talking about not banning it, but he's going to wait until he's in office, and then he's going to go, guys, here you go. Here's the app that makes the entire country worse off and dumb. Have fun, everybody. And that's what's happened, really. And that's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. All this talk about Mr. Beast buying TikTok. Dude, that would be the worst thing to happen in TikTok. Could you imagine TikTok becoming more brain rot? That's what would happen if Mr. Beast bought it. I do not want a content creator to own an app. I don't. It's never worked out. All right? Casey Neistat's thing, that bombed. David Dobrik's thing, that bombed. Although now that he's Jack, maybe his app will have a resurgence, you know? Because that's the only thing that you need to make the public forgive you, is just to come back with a 6-pack. It doesn't matter what you do. If you come back ripped, people will be like, yo, this guy's fucking cool. How strange does David Dobrik's body look? It's like you ever see someone who just shouldn't be ripped? You know? Like, imagine how weird I would look if I was fucking cut up, dude. If I was super ripped, you'd look at me like, that doesn't look right. I'm trying to become like big and strong. But if I was cut up like David Dobrik, you'd be like, this guy looks anemic. He looks very ill. David Dobrik is a guy who's supposed to be skinny fat. If you look at that guy's face, that is the most like skinny until he takes off a t-shirt looking face you've ever seen in your life. He's not supposed to have a six-pack. It looks weird. I don't like it at all. It's not good. But then again, you know, the man's ripped, so he can do no wrong. That's really how this works, is you can attempt to kill your best friend with a crane to the face, but if you come back after doing a few sit-ups, all good, brother. Keep on vlogging. Like, that's really how Elon Musk repairs his reputation after just tanking it for the last 3 months, is he needs to hit the gym and come back ripped. That, though I'm not too sure if Elon Musk could get ripped, just because if you look at that man's rib cage, like that's how they designed the Cybertruck. I think they just scanned Elon Musk's rib cage and put wheels on it. That's the Cybertruck. Have you ever seen that man with his shirt off? Imagine that guy with a six-pack. He would look like those like 1920s strongmen with the giant barrel chest and the tiny little waist. It'd look strange. I don't think I've ever in my life been able to look at a rib cage and be like, oh yeah, whoever owns that rib cage is autistic for sure, until I saw Elon Musk with his shirt off. That's a phenomenal build. How does one attain such a build? So yeah, I think that my thoughts on the TikTok ban is I think it's a really dumb thing that America did, because like, where does it end? Do you know what I mean? Like, the only way to stop outside influence when you are a free nation in the internet age is to do what China has done and create a giant firewall and have a Chinese only internet, right? That's the only way to do it, because once you ban TikTok, now it's like, okay, well, are you gonna ban Zhao Hongshu? That's even more Chinese. And then if you ban that, it's like, okay, are you gonna ban Tencent, the company that makes Fortnite, Marvel Rivals? Like, are you? And then once you ban those things, it's like, okay, are you gonna ban Samsung phones? It's not Chinese, but it is like a foreign business tracking data and creating hardware that could be used maliciously. It's like, where does this like isolationist view when it comes to technology stop? And of course, you know, data tracking and privacy and all that kind of bullshit is a huge concern, but I think the only way to ensure the data of citizens is kept safe is to do what has already been done with TikTok, which is to partition it off and to have data centers that are controlled by American people, that you make sure aren't transmitting data to China. Like, the only thing that China should be getting from TikTok is like money sent from the parent company, sent from TikTok to the parent company. I think that's a pretty easy solution to this whole thing, because yeah, like, TikTok is obviously a huge security concern, but it's not the worst one. The worst one is like DJI drones, right? We're worried about TikTok, Chinese people. We're worried about the Chinese government finding out what you're liking on TikTok. Like, oh no, Xi Jinping is going to find out what type of e-girl I'm into. Meanwhile, DJI drones has got a fucking remote control drone in everyone's backpack that at any minute they could just fucking activate, and then, you know, that's a much bigger concern. I think what I'm saying is, like, it's ultimately pointless. Like, we live in a global world, so you can't arbitrarily ban one app or another app without just doing what China has done and fucking wiping the slate clean and being like, all right, we're starting our own internet. And if you do that, you are now like a dictatorship. Not that America is too far away from that. But yeah, I think it gets unbanned, which will be a shame because, you know, it'll go back to all the Americans be on there. No, I kid. I like the Americans. I do want to live there. I'm going to move over there as soon as I can. Hopefully in the next 2-3 years, if things continue to go well. Welcome to the show, by the way. I'm in Perth. I hope you like the new setup. Any feedback is appreciated. I've tried to light it as best I can. I'm recording this on 5 p.m. on a Sunday Perth time, so it's probably going to be quite late for you. But the rule is, if it's uploaded on a Sunday where I am, it counts as a not missed episode. But next week's episode will be recorded in advance. I just really wanted to focus on the show. And dude, the show is so good, man. Such a relief. Every time I do a show for the first time, it is such a relief to walk off stage and be like, oh, I was right. Because you get up on stage and when you're doing a show for the first time, all you have is, fuck, I think this is good. I hope I'm correct. You're just guessing. And as you do comedy more and more, you get better at guessing, but you are never not guessing. When you do a joke or a show for the first time, you're always going up, fingers crossed, I hope this is good. But dude, the reception from Friday night, the first show was amazing. It was so good, dude. And Saturday night was just as good. And I've got 6 more shows here. And then we're taking it all over the road. So I'm really excited for it. I'm getting a little bit of notice that the shows interstate are selling out really quick. So like Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, I think they're all well over half full. And they're not for months. So if you want to get tickets, I would get them now. UK tour will be announced hopefully in the next month. We are booking it as we speak, loosbeers.com. Yeah, dude, I'm just loving it, and you know what? I'm ashamed to say it. I love Perth, and the reason I'm ashamed to say it is because I have written Perth off for so long. My entire career, I've reluctantly flown to Perth, and I've just felt how hot it is, and I've gone, this sucks, and then I stay in my hotel and I don't enjoy it. I stayed here in Perth for like 3 weeks last year. I'm here for almost 3 weeks this year. And I can say with absolute confidence, I love Perth so much. It's one of the best cities in the world. I love it. Every time I come here, I enjoy it. Now that I feel like I know my way around a little bit, it's such a fun, cool city where so many like small little businesses are doing their thing and doing it really well. It's great. And I think a huge part of that is because of the cashed up bogans that fund every idiot's dream here. You know, when you've got a FIFO worker who's making $500 million a week, and when he comes home, he's got 2 weeks off and $1 billion to burn, all right, he doesn't want to go home because his girlfriend's angry at him for doing his job that funds her lifestyle. He goes out and he spends money at the weird, niche, indie little clothing stores and food shops and hobby enthusiast joints and keeps the city alive, man. That's what runs Perth, is cashed up bogans. And that's why it works, even though there's a very small population. There's so many businesses that I saw last year that I was like, there's no way that place is going to be open within 3 months. And then I find out it's been open for 8 years and it's still here and it's doing even better now. It's because of the cashed up bogans who have nowhere else to spend their money other than here and Bali on questionably aged sex workers. That's what runs Perth. And I love it. That being said, I fucking hate Perth so much. I really hate it. The weather is horrific. It's horrible. You leave the house and it hits you in the face with a baseball bat, and it really makes you understand that white people should not be here. We shouldn't be in this country. Like, we're literally not built for this shit. Okay? There's a reason why Aboriginal people have thrived in this country until we arrived, and it's because we got so upset at the weather that we took it out on the natives. All right, it's so hot that it makes you kind of racist, and that's it's not good, but it's the world that we live in, dude. I hate the weather here so much. It would be the perfect place to live if it wasn't this fucking hot. And I already can read your comments. Oh, you're a little baby. You just think it's hot. It's 35 degrees. Brother, look at the color of me, all right? I'm basically translucent. I go out into the sun. I don't tan. I just go red, and then I come home with more freckles. All right? I'm not built for this shit. When I was in England, I was thriving. When I come to Perth, I'm fucking suffering. It doesn't matter how good the shops are. It doesn't matter how nice the people are. It doesn't matter how quaint this place is. I walk outside and within 7 minutes, I have fucking skin cancer. It sucks. I hate it. I love Perth so much. It sucks. But I am happy to be here. I've done something that I have never really done, and I've actually booked myself a comfortable hotel. I would never spend this much money on a hotel, but I've rationalized it because I've gone, well, if I didn't do this, I would be spending, because I've got a kitchenette here, right? So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm staying here for over 2 weeks, if I cheap out on a hotel and I spend way less, I'm probably going to have to buy food every single day, 3-4 times a day to feed myself, right? So that's going to spend heaps of money over 2-3 weeks. And also I won't have anywhere to film that looks nice. So either I'll have to spend money on a studio or I'll have to just not make videos. And both those things cost me heaps of money. So I thought, all right, I'm just going to do the responsible thing and spend the money and actually get a nice place. And dude, what a fucking decision. All right, how nice does this look? I've got my own little desk. I've got a telephone that I'll never use. I've got some art here, you know, fucking color block number 9, probably AI generated. I've got my own TV. I've got a bed. I've got a kitchen. I spent all yesterday cooking in my hotel instead of leaving and wandering around in the heat looking for the cheapest food that I can find that'll make me feel sick. I'm living the dream right now. It's so good. I'm gonna make a bunch of YouTube videos tomorrow. They won't look like shit. This is amazing, dude. I'm really enjoying it. I love Perth. It fucking sucks. Why is it so hot? People shouldn't live here. There should not be a city here. Like, why would we do that? This is why, like, when I see Elon Musk talking about colonizing Mars, I look at him like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you work on terraforming Mars when we could actually just, I don't know, terraform Australia? Tell me why the Saudis have figured it out in their even less livable arid country, but us in the middle of Australia, we can't fucking build anything. Why can't we do that? That's really what we should be doing instead of focusing our attention to fucking Mars. Is we should figure out how to make Australia livable. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to stop the space race because I know it's destroying the ozone layer and that makes me more sunburned. I don't care about global warming. I just want to stop getting sunburn every time I go for a 2-minute walk. It's not good. I don't know why I'm having a rant. I'm having a lovely time. I haven't spoken to anyone in 3 days. That's why. Now, I have to address the gay elephant in the room. I have gone very viral on Red Note, Xiaohongshu, the Chinese app, and I talk about it in my show, so I'm not going to go into it too much here. But, dude, so funny. It's so funny. I am still today getting messages daily on Xiaohongshu of like gay Chinese men trying to hook up with me. I don't know how to turn my privacy settings off. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting comments like, dude, where are your shows? I want to come and see you. I don't want to put my tour dates up there. Actually, this is so funny. Friday night, right? Right in the middle of me going viral on Xiaohongshu, I get to the venue and we're setting up, and it's like a bar that's split in half, and it was a performance space and a bar. So I'm in the bar setting up my cameras and everything, and there is a group of 15 Chinese people all speaking Mandarin, and I'm thinking, they haven't seen me yet, and I'm thinking, holy shit, no way. I'm thinking, no way am I getting like groups of Chinese motherfuckers coming to my show, and they're all speaking Chinese. I don't hear a lick of English, right? And then I set up for my staff, and I talk to the room runner, and I go, can you figure out if these people are here for me? Like, what is going on? Because I've never seen that demographic at my shows. I get lots of Asian people at my shows, but I don't get like a demographic of like a group of 15 Chinese speaking people that are definitely like not native, right? That's not my demo. The last time a giant group of Asians showed up to my show, they were Tibetans and they were not happy with me. They were trying to protest me. I've gone from groups of Tibetans showing up to groups of Chinese people showing up. Two groups that you would not want to be in the same room together because you'd have to call the police. So the room runner goes up to the guy and I see them talk, and then he comes back and he goes, "Oh, I couldn't really talk to them, they don't really speak English. I'm thinking, fuck, they're definitely here for me then. Turns out it was just a coincidence, and they weren't here for me. And it was actually a sigh of relief. I thought, fuck, as much as I would like to make, money off that group, you don't want people who can't speak your language in the audience. They're just going to sit there in confused silence. Which actually reminds me, I remember when I did get protested, like 2 days after, a Chinese national who must have just like really disliked Buddhist came to my show to support me, which I don't want. I don't want someone showing up because they dislike a religious group. But he shows up and he sits like front row, and he just so clearly does not speak English. He comes up to me, super polite afterwards, says something about how he saw the Dalai Lama video, and we struggle through a little polite conversation. He shakes my hand, bows, and then leaves. I was like, fuck, man. That guy did not have a nice time. He just wanted to give me $40 because he doesn't like Buddhists. In other news, you guys know that I really care about things like mental clarity, brain fog, and how that affects your day. With my experience with like sleep apnea and losing the ability to use my brain effectively, since I've become well, I've really started paying attention to what works for me, things like my sleep, my physical fitness, my diet, and also just like a lot of different like exogenous compounds that you put into your body and how that actually affects me. So I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I love my coffee, but a thing that I've started having recently after they sent me a few free bottles is Magic Mind. I love it. It's really, really worked for me, and they have come on board as a sponsor of the podcast, which is awesome because I have been having it every day, and it genuinely makes such a big difference to my mental clarity. Whenever I have the Magic Mind shot, if you have it with coffee, I honestly, sometimes I really struggle to edit for hours on end. When I have the Magic Mind thing, I have to like choose to stop. It's a really it doesn't like make you jittery or like super buzzy like when you have too much coffee, and it doesn't replace your coffee. It's almost difficult to explain. It just like it really just gives you like this mental clarity and ability to kind of focus and shut out all these distractions and things like that. And when I have it like a few days in a row around the same time, I notice that my entire week goes a lot better. And so I'm really stoked to have them sponsor the show. I don't know. I just really like the product, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's really been a positive difference for me. Keelan has also become obsessed with them as well, and I'm really, really happy to have them be part of the show. They've released like also a daytime one that you have in the morning, and also a nighttime one that helps you sleep. I've not had the nighttime one yet. It's on the way. I'm excited to try it. But if it's anything like the one in the morning, I would imagine that having the one in the morning and one at night is going to revolutionize my waking and my sleeping. I am super, super, super sensitive to change with my focus and my brain fog and my mental clarity ever since becoming well. And Magic Mind, genuinely, right, whether or not they sponsor me is completely irrelevant to my opinion on this. It has made such a positive impact on my days when I have it. I notice the difference when I don't have it. Honestly, give it a go. I highly recommend it. I've got a code here for you to get 45% off the Magic Mind bundle with my link at magicmind.com/LouSpearsJan. I'll leave it in the description in the top comment. For real, it's really, really great stuff. Highly recommend it. I have it every day, and it works. So yeah, man, I'm looking for a gym, all right, in Perth. If you can recommend me a good gym, I like, and by a good gym, I just mean anything that has barbells and air conditioning. That's what I want, because I tried to go to the hotel gym here and I almost died. I was like, this is a fucking sauna. I did like 2 push-ups as a warm-up, and I went back upstairs. I was like, fuck this. All right, I am not David Goggins. I will work out hard, but only in an environment that I'm acclimatized to. Dude, I went out this morning. Was it this morning? I think it was yesterday morning. I went out, got coffee, and I did some writing, working on my show. And I was hearing club music, and it's like 6:30 in the morning. I get up early, right? 6:30 in the morning. I'm on the main street, and I'm hearing club music. It's like Sunday morning, so I'm thinking, dude, what nightclub is still running? And I'm looking around trying to find this nightclub, and then I see it's like this gym, and they are pumping club music, and they're playing the sirens like, "Beep, beep, 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 beep." And all I hear is club music, and I look at it, and it's underground, right? The doors are not open. It's an underground place. I hear the music coming up, and I just hear whooping and cheering and whistles, and it's one of those like group workout sessions where they're just pumping club music, and everyone is like sweating, and it's like a communal community gym vibe, and everyone's like whooping and hollering. It's like the gym for extroverts, and I couldn't think of anything worse to start my day than one of those group training sessions where everyone's high-fiving and hugging, and it's like a community vibe, and they're playing club music. I couldn't think of any. I don't know how people tolerate those things. I want to work out like I'm at fucking church. You know what it is, right? When I go to gym, I want it to be like a Catholic church, ritualistic, silent as fuck. Everyone shut up and do the ritual in silence and pay your respects and then get the fuck out, right? But those gyms, they're like the black gospel churches where everyone's screaming and dancing, and there's 16,000 instruments all playing at the same time. They're yelling. People are speaking in tongues, convulsing on the floor. It's the loudest, most overwhelming thing ever. And then after that, you have to like go to your office job. I don't know how people do that. Like some people genuinely get charged up by that. That would drain me. I wouldn't be able to do anything for a month after one of those sessions. That seems like a fucking nightmare to me. Do any of you guys do those things? Are they good? I feel like I should try it just because it would entertain you, because I would dislike it so much. Oh, what else do we have here? It was my birthday. I forgot to say last episode, it was my birthday on the 16th. A couple of days ago, I turned 31. 31 years old, no driver's license. I think I should throw myself out the window. But I turned 31. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. And you know what? I've taken advantage of my newfound fame on Xiaohongshu. I'm starting a bit of a revolution here. I'm a big believer in equality. I've always been for equal rights and equity and inclusion. And I've noticed a really big disparity in my field of work, right? Content creation and entertainment. I've noticed a big disparity that I'm taking a stand against today, and that is wish lists, okay? Every single woman online, whether they're an OnlyFans creator, an Instagram model, or a YouTuber, or a TikToker, well, you can't really call them that now anymore. If they're American, they're, what would you call them? Unemployed. Sucked in. No, that's awful. But one thing I've noticed is a big inequality in the entertainment industry, especially on social media, and that is every single woman online, no matter whether they're a sex worker or an influencer or just a girl, they have their own wish list where people will go on and just buy them things, right? I didn't even know these existed until I started seeing everyone post about it, right? And I look at these things, you log on, and women are just putting the most insane... Like, I thought it would be like, oh, you buy someone lingerie, and then they send you a photo of them wearing it, right? I thought it was that. That's what some of them are, but most of them are not that, right? I click on some of these wish lists. People are just putting up, oh, I want this makeup set. Oh, I would like flowers. I would like some chocolate. You can buy me a coffee. Just like things, right? And men out there are buying these gifts for these women. They get nothing in return. They're just buying them gifts, and then they'll post about it on their socials. Thanks, Anonymous, for buying me this teddy. And it arrives the next day. Insane, right? So I thought, you know what? I'm taking a stand here. I'm going to be the first ever man on social media with a Throne account. And I put that link on Xiaohongshu, and I tell you what, these gay Chinese motherfuckers are buying me a lot of comic books. Dude, I saw a girl who put a Thermomix on her wish list, man. I just filled mine up with like comic books that I would like to read, and I can't believe it, but people are buying them for me. So I am the first man with a throne wish list where you can buy me a birthday gift for equality, because I'm a believer in a future where both sexes are held up to the same standards, and where no one is better than the other. And that's why I am the first ever man with a throne wish list account. And you can support the fight for equality by buying me a comic book on Throne. Link in description. I mainly just put it there to bait Chinese motherfuckers into buying me comic books, but you know what? It's working beautifully. One guy bought me a Hello Kitty belt, and I wore it on stage on Friday night. I'm not too proud to admit it. Absolutely. If the girls can do it, I'll do it too. That's so funny, dude. It's absolutely, the internet is such a weird place where just like strangers will just buy other strangers like things, you know? It is a really interesting thing, because like there are so many other ways to like support content creators, whether it's like subscriptions or like actual donations or buying merch or buying tickets. It's such a interesting thing though, where some people like genuinely would prefer to buy their favorite person a product and receive nothing in return. I guess it's I don't know, it's very it's cool, I guess. I don't know how I feel about it. It's funny. It's hilarious that those people exist, but I don't know what they get out of that. I've never thought, like, when I like supporting people that I watch. Like, I support a few people on Patreon. I love buying merch after shows. I love buying tickets and things like that. I love like purchasing things from people who I want to see more from. But like I've never really had the thought come across my mind of like, oh, I'm going to buy them like a fucking video game or whatever. I don't know. The wishlist thing is fascinating to me, because I thought that like, and I probably should set one of these up at some point. I thought like those affiliate lists are more of a value thing, of where like I would set up a list and show you the equipment that I use to film my videos, and then, you know, people who want their videos to look good or look like mine, they understand what I'm doing and how, and then if they buy the product, I get a kickback. We both get something, right? That to me makes a lot more sense. But people really are out there just saying, oh, this chick's hot, I'm gonna buy her a fucking G-string that I'll never see her in. But you know what? It's just part of the process. It's part of the fight for equality, and that's what I'm all about here. I know I've been yapping on about Elon Musk recently, but there's been a lot that's happened. The Elon Musk's latest scandal is so funny. Like, he has been exposed for being a fake gamer, and I'm going to go out there and say, I actually think that Elon is a real gamer, and he is quite a good Diablo player, right? I've seen him stream Diablo, and he seems to know exactly what he's doing, and he's talked about it. He's a genuinely very, very good player. But this new game that he's one of the best in the world at, the Path of Exile, he's been absolutely exposed by other actual professional Path of Exile players as a complete fraud who is almost definitely paying someone else to play the game for him, and then he just takes over for streams to make it look like he's the one actually in operation of that account, right? So Path of Exile, it's a game that's like a super, super grindy, very, very in-depth game. It's a massive time sink. If you want to be one of the best in the world, you have to be putting in like literally a full-time day's work every single day since launch to be in the top 10 like Elon is. And let's be real, the man clearly does not have time to do that. Like, if you're the type of person who, even if the only thing he was doing was maintaining his travel schedule, like the amount of flights Elon Musk has to get on, the places he shows up at, and the meetings he goes to, already that knocks him out of being able to put the time together to dedicate towards playing Path of Exile to the standard where he would be one of the best in the world, right? So it's already fucking impossible for him to do that, even if the only thing he was doing was playing the game in between flights, right? So already that knocks him out. But then you go, oh, well, he's in charge of the most valuable companies in the world, and he has 37,000 children. Although, to be fair, the man isn't paying attention to any of those children, apart from the one that he wears like a bulletproof vest at events with the president. You know, the only time I see Elon Musk looking after his kid is when he's in an environment where there could be a sniper on a rooftop somewhere, you know? That's the only time I ever see him with the kid. And he's always got the kid like right behind his head. You know, as if like a warning to be like, all right, you could hit me, but you're going to take out X too. So yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of pause here. Maybe that's the new strat to not get shot while delivering speeches, is to just strap a couple of toddlers to you. That's what Trump should do at the inauguration, you know, is just like wear a bunch of kids from all races, so that, you know, it really makes a potential shooter think twice before trying to take him out. But Elon Musk has constantly been claiming that he's one of the best in the world at Path of Exile, and it's just provably false. Pro gamers have pointed out, obviously, the time that it would take to become to be at that level of gaming is impossible, right, with Elon Musk's schedule. But also they've pointed out times where he is live streaming, right, where he is in person in an event, like provably not playing the game, but people can see that someone is playing on his account, right? But for some reason, Elon has just come out and is standing behind it, or had been standing behind it for ages, saying that I'm the best in the world, I'm the one who's playing this game. It's like such a weird fucking lie to tell. Like, I don't know why you would need to be seen as one of the best gamers in the world when you're already the richest man in the world, when you're already doing all these amazing things with SpaceX, when you're already like literally second in charge of the country, it looks like. Like, the guy's getting his own office in the White House. Why does he have the need to lie about being one of the best gamers in the world? Could you fucking imagine if you walked into his office in the White House and he's just like that World of Warcraft episode of South Park? He's just fucking Dorito chips all over his chest, playing Path of Exile, not doing his job or parenting his child. Like, is that who we want in the White House? Probably not. But, right, Asmongold, who's one of the biggest streamers in the world, commented on this, right? And basically pointed out all the different reasons why Elon Musk could not possibly be one of the best Path of Exile gamers in the world. And one of the big reasons, one of the big pieces of evidence is Elon Musk did like this stream, right, where he was playing Path of Exile, and it was actually him. But all of these pros have analyzed his gameplay and how his character moves and even the settings that he would be using. And they basically determined that this is a guy who only kind of understands how to play Path of Exile, right? There's sections in his character when in his inventory that are labeled things like Elon's maps. Like, why would he write that in third person if it was actually his account? That's more likely to be something that your employee would write to make it very clear to you, here is where you find your maps. They showed him clicking around, not using macros that any Path of Exile player would use. He did not pick up loot that was incredibly rare and powerful. He didn't filter loot that was not useful at all. There were so many different things that he did and didn't do that a pro gamer would never do or not do. That just made it so obvious to anyone who knew anything about the game that Elon Musk was just bullshitting and was taking the reins temporarily from the actual person who is playing on that account that he must pay. And there's been such a massive backlash online from even his own supporters on this, going, oh my God, I can't believe that Elon Musk would make up the fact that he was the one doing all the work and then take credit for it, when really it's just some other anonymous person who's actually the person doing all of the work, and Elon Musk is taking credit for it. I see these takes and I go, dude, do you know what a billionaire is? That's what a billionaire is. Somebody else, thousands of other people do all of the work, and then the guy at the top, Elon Musk, goes, that's all me. I'm the genius. It's like That's what a billionaire does. He's not doing all of the work. Do you reckon Elon Musk is in the lab making those rockets? No, he's yelling at the nerds to build the rockets faster and cheaper and then going, look at me, I'm a fucking genius. That's what a billionaire is. They make all of their money by making all of the other people do the work, and then they reap the rewards. That's what a billionaire is. I'm sorry. Do you think fucking Jeff Bezos is the one packing all of your orders at Amazon and delivering them himself? No, he sits at the top and all the peasants do that work. Like, yeah, I think Elon Musk is a genius, but like he's also a fucking idiot. Like what Elon Musk is absolutely fucking amazing at is extracting value from other people. That's his real talent. And that's a talent. I'm not very good at that. Treating employees like shit and making them work themselves to death so that I can make an extra few percentage points. I suck at that. He's really good at that. He's a fucking genius at extracting value from people who work in his companies and from ruthlessly terminating anyone that isn't of economic value. He is a fucking genius capitalist. That's what he's really, really good at. He plays the capitalist game exemplary, right? He's amazing at it. The guy is so good at being a capitalist, he talked his way into the fucking White House and now has a government job too. So I don't know why you're surprised if you were an Elon Musk fan that he would take the credit for someone else's hard work, because that's what being a billionaire is. It's just so funny. But Asmongold was one of these people that like really shed light to this. He's a really, really big streamer, famously known for living in a room that is so dirty that he used a dead rat as an alarm clock. Literally. He would wake up when the smell started to stench because the room was heating up. That's what would get him out of bed. This is a man who would, instead of brushing his teeth, would instead wipe the blood off his gums onto the wall next to him where he streamed. This is a man whose room was so dirty that several streamers have entered it and left with a sickness. This is a man who, if a god of pestilence and decay were to manifest, would host his body. Like that's who this man is, and that's who Elon Musk is beefing with. Like that's how you know Elon is like deep down. Some people, it doesn't matter how much money they have. It doesn't matter how much power they have, how much influence. Like deep down, they are that fucking weird little autistic kid that got bullied at school. Elon Musk's biggest weakness is he wants to be cool and he wants to be liked. And people can smell that like sharks smell blood in the water. As soon as we sense insecurity and desperation like that, that's when you get bullied, especially on Twitter, currently known as X. So Asmongold ends up shedding light on all these professional Path of Exile players who were like reviewing his gameplay and you know saying this is obviously not a guy who's been playing to the standard that this character is at. Obviously, this is faked, right? Elon responds by leaking DMs with Asmongold and trashing him online, right? He responds by saying this: Asmon behaves like a maverick independent, but in reality, he has to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He is not his own man. And then he attaches a screenshot of DMs between Asmongold and Elon Musk. This is Asmon. I'm going to see if my editors might want to make a second account for it. Elon says, sure. Who are these mysterious editors? Asmon then tags them both. Two guys, this guy and this guy. They basically run the entire YouTube account. Basically, any content I post is edited or uploaded by them, and they just get a cut of the ad revenue. It's a super good system, to be honest. Almost everyone on YouTube does it. And then Elon says, interesting. Now, I read this, and I was like, what's the problem with this? What do you mean Asmongold's not his own man? I don't understand. Like, what does he mean? Who are these mysterious editors? And then Asmongold tags them both and explains what's going on. And then Elon Musk says, interesting, and then releases it to the public like it's some damning evil thing. And then I read it again through the eyes of like a half-retarded autistic guy. And I realized that when Asmongold says editors, he's talking about a YouTube editor. So like Keelan, who edits my YouTube videos, a guy who actually edits the videos and then post them, right? That's what an editor is. But Elon Musk reads this and he reads it as editors like a journalist editor, who is the boss and the person in charge of what story gets published and what story doesn't. So Elon, in all of his autistic savant glory, completely misinterprets Asmongold and assumes that Asmon has shady, mysterious Illuminati editor bosses that tell him what he can and can't speak about, and that's why Asmongold made fun of Elon Musk. He couldn't have possibly made fun of him because it's hilarious to see a billionaire pathetically lie about being one of the best gamers in the world. No, he must be being controlled by shadowy editors from afar. He's so autistic, man. I love it. As a fellow autist on the spectrum, I fucking love to see Elon just really try hard. It's everything from doing the X jump, thinking that would look cool, thinking that it would take off, from truly believing that users on X would love him as a messiah for all time, to wearing like the leather jacket and the aviators. Remember when he went through that phase where he fucking put on a leather jacket with the fur collar and the aviators? Like, you can tell that he saw the most recent Top Gun and was like, oh yeah, that's me, I'm cool. I can be really cool like that too. He was telling advertisers to fuck off, and now he's like, please come back. I love Elon Musk. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Good on him. See, this is why, like, if I'm a billionaire, I don't want to be famous. Why the fuck would you want to be famous? Like, unless being famous is an integral part of your job, like you need it to do your job well. Like a job like mine, you need fame. You need people to know who you are. You need to put yourself out there. But if I was like a guy who worked in IT, I would just like to be an anonymous millionaire. Like, why? I don't know why the fuck you would want to be famous if it wasn't an integral part of your job. If you don't work in entertainment, why the fuck would you want to be famous and liked by people you don't know? I don't understand it. This drive, it's like something about it is like really fucking insecure and pathetic. If you are a multi-millionaire and you want to be famous, something about that is like really desperate and sad to me. In a way where it's not like, if you're an entertainer, it makes perfect sense. Like it's literally how you become better and make a living. Like if no one knows who I am, I don't have any audiences to perform to and hone my skills. I literally can't do my job if I'm not trying to accrue some sort of notoriety and being known or fame. But like, dude, if I'm running a rocket company or a fucking car business, you don't want to be famous, you know? Like there's a reason why insurance CEOs are trying to scrub their names off the internet. If they know who you are, that's a bad thing. That's dangerous. You don't want to be a multi-millionaire or a billionaire and famous. You want to be completely anonymous, dude. Jeff Bezos does not have a social media account. He is not influencing. He's just going on yachts and fucking models with his weird demonic wife in silence, as he should. You do not want to be famous if you're a fucking multimillionaire that doesn't work in entertainment. I don't know why you would want to do it. The only reason I can come up with is because you are like super insecure and you have this desperate need to be liked, which drives a lot of people to an entertainment career. Oh, man. I went out for my birthday. This is the last thing I'll talk about before we get out of here. I went out for my birthday in Frankston, and I went out with my son. We went to a steak dinner, and dude, speaking of fame, I have become like a local celebrity in Frankston. It's crazy. I went out. I don't go out in Frankston too much because I don't have too much need to. But dude, I was getting swamped. I walked into this steak restaurant. The first person that sees me goes, "Oh, a fellow birthday boy." The whole table who's celebrating this guy's birthday, they all knew me and they knew it was my birthday. So they were like locked in with what's going on with me. They're not just like casual people who've seen me once or twice. I walk in, the server recognizes me. I get to my table, someone else on another table recognizes me. Then the fucking chef recognizes me. They start sending me free food all night. Compliments of the chef. I've never had that in my life before. I was like embarrassed almost. Like everyone was like fucking watching me eat in Frankston. I've become like a local celebrity there. I don't know what to do with it. It's really weird, man. I mean, it's cool. It's great. Like, I'm very grateful for it, but like, man, it is such a weird thing to see things start to get like much bigger. Like now that the YouTube channel is working, the podcast is growing, and like the Instagram is going up, and TikTok's going up, and I've been on this TV show last year. Like, my face has kind of been everywhere in Australia, and it's really getting bigger and bigger, and it's so cool, but it's so weird as well. Like just walking in and every single person in the room knowing who you are. It's like, I don't know. It's cool, and I'm grateful for it, but like, it's very weird, like being looked at and watched when you're fucking eating dinner. It's such a strange thing that is going on in my life, and I don't know. It's really weird, man. It's cool. It's weird. It's kind of scary. It's great. I love it. But sometimes, I just like. Sometimes you do just want to be like completely anonymous and just like walk around and be like a normal person. And I'm not even a famous guy, right? And I love. Don't get me wrong. I love when people say hello, and I love meeting people and taking photos. And I'll never like turn it down unless I'm in the middle of something important or whatever. I'll never turn that down. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to be like a famous or a known I struggle to call myself famous. But sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be a known person today. I would just like to go out and get treated normal. I think it's like getting, it's this weird thing of like getting noticed and people being nice to me, and like that's awesome, because that's just like people going, I think you're good at what you love to do. Like that's what people are saying, and that's like a really special, amazing thing. But like, I don't know, getting free food and stuff, it's like, man, it's such a weird thing of like, I become more successful and I get more free things. That's a weird thing. That feels a little bit backwards, like the more successful and famous somebody is, the more free shit they get. It's like, I don't know. It's like and I'll never like turn it down, because it's rude to say no to like gifts or things when people are excited to see you. Like that's a rude thing to turn down, I think. But it is a thing I was like wrestling with while I'm getting all of this fucking free food. It's like, man, because I'm not making crazy money, but I hope that at some point I will, in the next 2-3 years. I hope that things are going even bigger and better, and money's coming in hand over fist. But like, man, I was just thinking, like, the more this continues and the more this goes, like, I won't need free shit at all, and I will get more and more and more and more of it. Just a weird thing to like wrestle with, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, it's I thank you for all the birthday wishes and the free shit on throne. I can't wait to read my comic books when I get home, dude. Oh, speaking of reading, I've been reading the best book, man. I've been reading The Road by Cormac McCarthy. It is, I talked about this a little bit on Patreon, which I'm going to continue on and do with this. I won't talk about it on Patreon. I'll talk about something else. But, bro, I am loving this book. I'm almost finished it. I think I'm going to finish it today. Such a good book, dude. So weirdly written as well. It's about a man and a boy just walking down a road in some kind of post-apocalyptic world. I haven't found out how it happened, or if we ever will find out what's happened, or even like what the story is, other than they're trying to get to somewhere, right? And it's a beautifully written book, but it's written in a way I've never read a book. It's written in a way I've never seen a book written. Like, there's almost no grammar in it at all, just full stops. There's no quotation marks, there's no commas, there's no like paragraphs, there's no chapters. It just is like the sentence begins and it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and there's nowhere to stop. Like, I have to, like with most books you read, it's like it comes to a natural end. You finish a part of the story, or you finish a chapter, or you get to like a save point or a checkpoint, or like a point where the characters rest, and you just continue on. This book, I have to pull myself away from it because there is nowhere to stop reading it. It's like I have to pause the movie in the middle of the biggest fight scene, but it's just a fast-paced action. It's not even action, but it's like, I don't know, it's just like so thoroughly fucking interesting and engaging and enthralling that I can't put it down. It's one of the most interestingly written books I've ever read, and it's made me go, shit, I need to read every book this guy has written. And I looked through, because I know that Cormac McCarthy is one of the most famous authors ever. I think did he die recently? I feel like he is either still alive or he died very recently. Cormac McCarthy death? 2023, 89 years old. Yeah, he only died in June 23. But looking through the other books that he's read, I've realized, oh man, he wrote books to my favorite movies. No Country for Old Men, one of the best films ever. The Road, I know, is a really good film. I haven't watched it. I'm going to in the hotel probably, maybe even tonight if I finish the book. I'm really excited to read Blood Meridian, which everyone is raving about. Apparently it's like a really difficult to read, fucking violent and disgusting book, which I love. And yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just like this. I highly recommend it. Really easy read. It's really short. I'm absolutely loving it. It is one of the best books I have ever read, and I can't wait to finish it, man, so that I can like think about it and watch the movie and maybe even reread it. I've smashed it out in like 3-4 days. It's so good. So that's my recommendation at the end of this podcast. We're going to continue on over on Spotify. We're going to answer some emails sent in by the listener. If you want to send an email to the show, send it through to podcast@louspears.com, and I will give you life advice, read your stories, give my opinion on whatever you want me to talk about. We've had some hilarious ones. Definitely, if you haven't listened to it yet, go check out last episode. It's just hilarious. I won't spoil it, but check out the end of last episode where I answered some emails. I am going to go over to Spotify right now, and after that, I'm going to jump on Patreon for the Patreon exclusive podcast. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to see you live in Perth. I've got 6 more shows. Then I go to Melbourne, then Sydney, then Brisbane, then Adelaide, and more dates announced soon. louspears.com to see every single city and to put your email and city in so that when I'm coming to you, I'll be able to let you know. I'm Lewis Spears. Thank you very much. I'll see you over on Spotify. Have a shit one. Bye. And a reminder that this episode is sponsored by Magic Mind. Use my custom link, magicmind.com/LouSpearsJan for 45% off the Magic Mind bundle with my custom link. That's magicmind.com/LouSpearsJan. Check the comments and the description. Grab Magic Mind. I use it every day. I highly recommend it.